welcome to aclaireytale. This is really exciting because I've got you on my tripod and I've never done a video with a tripod before. So hello, you're on a tripod. Do you know what though? I just realised something. So as you can see, this is a video all about my pins. However, I can't just leave the camera here and show you my pins like this. So I'm going to have to take you down and show you my pins, aren't I? So all that trying to get this in the right place was a bit of a waste of time, plus all this sun's coming in here. I'm not going to pretend it's the most professional setup ever. Oh, I just knocked my tripod. I just knocked it. Sorry. This is going well. I thought I would do a video about all my pins that I have. Basically I started collecting Disney pins on my first programme with Disneyland Paris. So that was the first time I started my collection. However, my family have been collecting pins my whole life. Hard rock pins. Actually, I will put a few images here of all the pins that my dad has in frames around the house. We've got some really old hard rock pins, old Disney pins as well, I think, but not like these ones. So we used to frame them. So this is just one of Dad's many boards that he created. This is from 1993. So here, look, Pleasure Island, Silver Springs, King Kong, Back to the Future. Oh, I miss it. Viva Country, look, with Goofy. Disney Studios. Mel's Drive-In, my fave. Look at that classic. Yogi Bear. Discovery Island. Look at these old logos as well. Epcot Centre. Good, hey? My brother would collect Hard Rock Cafe pins in every place he goes to. He still does, and actually I've started doing it too, as you'll see in here. So my pin collection is not just Disney pins. The way I collect pins is a pin for a monumental occasion, well, not monumental, but like a memory that I want to capture forever. I get a pin for it. So it might not be Disney. I had an amazing day at Volcano Bay with Simon, so I bought the Volcano Bay pin. So it's not all Disney pins, it's just things that I want to remember, memories and things like that. So I will show you what I've got. My first Disney pins are on a separate lanyard, which I'll show you first, but I just thought I'd show you this bag. So this bag was from the cast. Their shop is called Company D. I got it actually in the Epcot Company D, and they've got cast member embroidered on the bag, and you can buy this bag in stores, but obviously not with the cast member embroidery. So I got that, which I absolutely love. It's weird though, because this bag, it's like a big binder, but I don't have it set out as a binder. I had to sort of create my own. I'll show you what I mean. But yeah, here is my Disney pin collection. So I'll start with the lanyard that I got. So this is the Disneyland Paris lanyard, and basically my first ever, am I not even in the middle, am I? My first ever contract with Disneyland Paris, I worked in Bellinotte. So I bought this pin, and it's an exclusive pin. I don't think they have it. So this is a really exclusive Bellinotte restaurant pin. I love it. I remember it being very expensive at the time, but that just sort of signifies my time at Bellinotte. Then after Bellinotte, after the summer there, I went to work at Colonel Hades, or Colonel Hades, as it's actually meant to be pronounced. So I bought because obviously Colonel Hades is the elephant in Jungle Book. So I bought this Jungle Book pin to sort of represent my contract at Colonel Hades. After Colonel Hades, I worked in Chalet de la Marionnette, but actually I didn't enjoy that contract as much. I just didn't enjoy that as much, just because I think it's a lot of the time these contracts depend on the people you're with, and there was no one there to really have a good laugh with, so I didn't enjoy it as much. But I was there over New Year, so 2011 to 2012, I got this pin that says Bonne Année, and it's got the castle on, and it's really beautiful. So that sort of signifies that I was there over New Year. And then I've got this one, just a standard Disneyland resort. I think they still sell that one actually. I also got this one. So basically when you work over there, it's kind of cool that you are a different nationality. So a lot of people were wearing their flag pins of where they're actually from, and you're allowed to wear this on your costume. In Disneyland Paris, you're allowed to wear one pin on the other side of your name tag. So I used to have this UK little flag. And I was there for the 20th anniversary. I was working at the 20th anniversary, so I bought the 20th anniversary pin. While I was there, I nearly missed graduation at Warwick University. So during my contract, I actually had to get time off to fly back to the UK so that I can go to my own graduation. But then I cut the graduation short. I did all the pictures and everything, and then I got a train from Warwick straight down to London to go and see Les Mis. Let me show you. So during this time was the time that Nick Jonas was in Les Mis, and I'm sure you guys all know how much I love Nick Jonas by now. So he wasn't in the one I saw, but because he was in Les Mis, it got me loving the character and the story and the music. So I went to see Les Mis, and it was when Alfie Burr was playing and Matt Lucas was in it, and Samantha Barks was Eponine. It was incredible lineup, so I was very lucky I got to see that. And then on this last one on this lanyard is my Jonas pin. And this was actually the pin that I had on my check pad when I was on my second contract. So you know how in Disneyland Paris you're allowed a different pin on your costume. In Walt Disney World you were allowed one on your check pad. So I had Jonas and Dumbo one. So that is my Disneyland Paris one, and I will go through my binder now. So this is my binder. I've kind of got ribbons in to secure it as a binder. Look how thick it is. So I'm going to take you down so I can show you more, because I won't go through every single pin in detail, because that would be a very boring video, but I'll just take you down now and show you page by page. So my binder, actually let me just show you. So do you see how it's got these weird, so there wasn't a way to sort of, I did start to put holes in here, and then I realised you couldn't put any pins on this side because you can't get the back in. So it's really just a pin holder, this binder. So I had to sort of create my own, which is what I've done here. So this first page is when I did my first cultural representative programme. I definitely bought more pins on my first year than my second, and I will show you them now. I was there from August 2012 till August 2013, and as you can see here, during 2012 was the 30th year of Epcot. So we got to enjoy the 30th year of Epcot, and as you will have seen in my vlogs, I also enjoyed the 35th year of Epcot, so that is pretty cool. So my first pins were just sort of park pins, Epcot, because I love Epcot so much. Another UK pin. My 30th, I got some Dumbo pins. These are ones that you can trade, so I just collected these from trading. It's a Small World because I love it. It always reminds me of my mum. Another Jonas pin. I bought two because God forbid I lose my Jonas pin. Camp Rock 2 pin. I remember I got this cheap from a cast member shop. Dumbo pin, which is actually broken. I broke that, so technically it's no longer a pin. My best friend Sophie went to Nashville while we were out there, and she knows how much I love Nashville, so she bought me a Grand Ole Opry pin. Got an Epcot pin, and then I got a few cast member pins. So this is Dumbo's cast ID card, which is brilliant, and little peanuts on the front. And then this is another cast member one. Mickey, standard, the boss. United Kingdom pin, that's another hidden Mickey trading pin. And then this is my trainer pin, which I actually got a second one of these as well, my second program, when I became a Disney trainer. So I love that. Next page, on my 6th-month anniversary with my on my first programme, my whole Revival group, which was a lot bigger than my second Revival group, went to the cabins. So we celebrated at the cabins. So I bought that Fort Wilderness one for that. Then celebrating Christmas, I love this pin. And then it was Christmas 2012 going into New Year. So that's to celebrate New Year 2013. So I hadn't met Simon yet. So these are when I took a trip to Atlanta with another boy. Let's not talk about that. But I still loved Atlanta. Atlanta's a lovely place. Then down here we've got a cast member pin. This pin here, keep moving forward, see the world, share the dream. This pin is quite interesting actually. Does anyone remember when they used to have Segway tours around Epcot? So this pin we got because we did a Segway tour. We're around all the pavilions around the whole of Epcot. It was so much fun. I actually remember I lost control of my Segway and I just couldn't control it, and I went flying down to one of the pavilions, and everyone else were in a little semicircle watching me fly. I'll put a picture here of me out of control on a Segway. Then obviously this one is Flower and Garden Festival 2013, which is always around my birthday, March. My first hoop-de-doo. I went to hoop-de-doo on my actual birthday and it was insane. I loved it. You can't get this anymore, this pin. It's I think it's a Chip and Dale pin now for hoop-de-doo. I'm not entirely sure on that. I met my friend Danielle from school. Oh, she wrote a little note. She bought me this Figment pin. We went on Figment together and we had a really good time. Then my first Run Disney event, we did the Expedition Everest Run Disney event, the 5K. I did it with my best friend Sophie. It was so much fun. And then this was when I started seeing Simon. We did Lanuba. That was one of our first ever dates. Simon and I went to see Lanuba, one of the Cirque du Soleil. I also got this because Simon and I would spend a lot of time in Hollywood Studios. Back then it was my favourite park, and whenever we had a chance we always went there. Tampa Hard Rock Cafe because we went to see Tim McGraw in concert. Grand Flow, that was because Simon and I stayed the night there, and it was our first ever Disney staycay together, and it was the best. These two are because on Father's Day there was this special cars event in downtown Disney at the time, and there were all these cars dressed up and they were really, really, really good. Boardwalk, because we loved Boardwalk. I've not stayed there though. I would like to stay there. Vero Beach, Simon and I spent 3 nights at Vero Beach. Really loved that. Wilderness Lodge is our favourite resort. Simon and I loved it, so I bought the pin for that. Simon bought me this pin of Dumbo in the bathtub. I love it. 4th of July, we had one of the best days. We celebrated 4th of July. Actually, we worked it, Simon and I, both on the bar on the 4th of July, but on the 5th of July they had all the same things going on, so we saw the amazing fireworks the next day and we just had a great time. So I had to get that pin to sort of signify that. Beauty and the Beast, because this is me and this is Simon. We stayed Yacht Club. That was our first ever concierge level, it was called at the time, club level. Our first ever club level room, our first ever club level experience was the Yacht Club, and we went because to celebrate that I got a month extension. So that's what that was for. Then we stayed at Riverside. It wasn't a princess room, but we had a really nice time there. And this is just because we both love this ride. Simon especially loves Toy Story Mania. Then moving on to here. So my brother got married in Florida while I was out there in the August, just as I was finishing. So the night of my brother's wedding, Simon and I stayed at All Star Music. So that's why I got that one. Then the next day after my brother's wedding, we went up in the balloon, the Characters in Flight balloon. So I bought a pin to signify that. Then all as a family went to Busch Gardens, which was so much fun. Then on my last day at work, I got this to say I've earned my ears. And this because I stayed at Pop Century the last night that I finished work. And then just some of these were some of my favourite. If anyone knows the backstage roads, there's a massive Huey, Dewey and Louie sort of board. And to get backstage to Epcot you go past it. So the bus goes past it, and my dad used to drive past it, Simon used to drive past it when we'd go to work, and it just, I just loved seeing it. So I bought Huey, Dewey and Louie to signify that. Then these were we did a road trip when I finished. We went to Niagara Falls so that I could come back into the country again. So we went to Canada and back, did Toronto, and then we went to Washington. So we went to see Lincoln and Washington DC. We went to see the Constitution. I love this. Abe's sitting on his chair. And we went to Baltimore as well, which was cool. That was mainly to get another state in, because you know I'm trying to get through all the states. So we went to Baltimore so I could get Maryland in. We went to Kennedy Space Center when I finished my contract as well. And then after I stayed a little bit longer after my contract, we did some more fun things, and then in September I left, and we spent Simon's birthday, September 3rd, at the Polynesian. We did 2 nights at the Polynesian Resort, and it was just incredible. So I bought that to signify that stay. So then from there I flew home, and that was September, and that's when I got the job at the Disney store. But then in November, I got time off and I spent a week in Florida. Well, that's my Disney store pin, because it was a Spotlight store in 2014. But November, December, I spent a week with Simon. He was still working out there, and we did the Christmas party 2013, and we just loved it. Then we went to Disneyland Paris. I did a contract in February at Disneyland Paris, and everything was to do with Frozen. And 2014 Disneyland Paris, another French flag there. I worked at Sequoia Lodge, not then, but prior to that, and I love it so much. I got a pin. These had just come out, and I got Dreams, which was insane, and Crusher's Coaster, which is my favourite ride ever. Then Simon and I took a trip to Berlin, which is what this is, and the Ampelmann, and Dresden. So I studied a year in Dresden, so I wanted to show Simon all these wonderful places, and he'd never been to these 2 places, so I showed him them. Then I went back to Disneyland Paris to work more contracts, and I worked in Pizza Planet, so that's why I bought him. Ratatouille just come out then, so I had to buy that, and then some of my favourites. Then Simon and I got accepted to go onto the cruise line, and we did Alaska for 14 weeks, so I had to get an Alaskan pin. That's the only pin I actually got to show the Disney Cruise Line. But yeah, 2014 Disney Wonder. Then Simon actually proposed to me when we went to Florida. We went to Key West, and he proposed to me, and I bought that in that time as well. We went to the Hemingway house, and I bought this to sort of show that he proposed, because I thought it was quite coupley. This was because I went to see Mary Poppins on the stage show with my mum and dad, and we loved it. Then another holiday, always going back to Florida, we stayed at Old Key West, which was lots of fun, and we did that's to show the Mine Train, and this is just because I love Beauty and the Beast. I went back to the Disney store, and I worked in a Disney store again. So this is what these are from. That's Disney store. That was Disney store because we did the first ever Force Friday at the Disney store, and also at the Disney store I got these 2 pins to show that I speak French and German. Then Simon and I got married, so I got Mr. and Mrs. pins. This is December 2015 now, and then we went to Alani for our honeymoon, and that was in May. So May 2016, we had our honeymoon in Hawaii. Whew, we're nearly there, guys. Another Honolulu Hard Rock pin, just Maui'd, because if you know my humour, I found that hilarious, because we went to Maui, flew to Maui, and I bought this as well. Then that August, we were very lucky that we did another sort of honeymoon road trip. We did Colorado, Wyoming. We went to see Mount Rushmore, went to Deadwood, Devil's Tower, Badlands. We went to the Red Rocks in Colorado, which were amazing. And Denver. We actually stayed longer in Denver because Nick Jonas and Demi Lovato played, so I made Simon go to a concert on our honeymoon. Poor Simon. So that was the August. September we went to see Aladdin on the West End with Simon. That was for his birthday and we had such a good time. Back to Disneyland Paris we went. This was just a trip this time. It was just when Moana had come out, or Vaiana as it was called in Paris. So I bought those two to show that. Then you've seen all the rest. This was my year in Florida. So this was off Rochelle, and then these to show that I was here in 2017, Walt Disney World, Disneyland Resort, and that was for Disneyland. And the last page was my year. California trip, Flower and Garden, Volcano Bay, Key West, the Halloween party, when we stayed here for our anniversary. You know how much I love Dumbo. The 35th anniversary pin. 2018 going into the new year this year. My favourite stay I've ever stayed, club level contemporary, the best resort stay I've ever done. I can't wait to show you that video. And then my last night staying Art of Animation with Ellie. So that is it. I hope you enjoyed seeing all my pins. Hopefully it wasn't too boring. I tried not to talk too much about each specific pin because I know how boring that would probably be. It could probably be about a 4-hour long video and no one wants that, or maybe some do. So I hope you enjoyed seeing my little collection. I don't go too mad. The pins are expensive these days, so I just try and get one to remember everything by, and yeah, I don't ever collect the cardboards because I never collect pins with a view of selling them or collector's items. I just collect them for me, and just see, if I fancy one I'll get one. That's how I sort of roll with pin collecting. Let me know below what all your collections are like. I'd love to hear how many you've got, although I've never actually counted mine. I should actually count them and see. I don't think it's too bad, is it? I don't really know. Let me know below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Make your memories, make your memories, take your pictures, make your memories, catching little pieces of time, making them yours, making them mine.